Welcome, 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 everyone. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day out there. I am having a great day by the grace of God. And I am super excited to come live to you guys from the comfort of my home. And I hope today you guys would be connected, invite your friends, family to come and listen to a wonderful presentation by Patricia Mawa. Patricia Mawa is going to tell you all about herself and her journey, where she came from, what she went through, and where she is at now. Trust me, you don't want to miss this, because I fell in love with her the first time I met her because of the energy that was coming out of her in respect to what she is doing and what she believes in. You want to surround yourself with people like that will encourage and empower you. Remember, when you come on the show, share your story. Share the broadcast and send in your questions via WhatsApp. Please, guys, send it via WhatsApp. I would be looking at it. My WhatsApp number is rolling right on the screen. And if you post your questions here, I see it. I'm going to put it up on the screen so my guest can see it also. If you don't want your name mentioned, quickly text me a private message so that way we can ask the questions and without mentioning your names. I respect that privacy. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. Let me bring up Patricia so she can just tell us a little bit about herself. Then I will play her video introducing what she does in a very short moment. Let us see our guest for today. Yay! Told you guys, she's always smiling. Welcome to the Queen Amina show, Patricia.
Thank you so much for having me, Queen. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for taking out of your busy time. I understand how busy you are, so truly appreciate this moment. I am not taking it for granted at all.
My pleasure.
Thank you. You're on the show. We usually just touch a little bit about the situation on ground, which is the lockdown situation. So how is it in Toronto? How has it affected you? And what's the latest from there?
Wow, how has it affected me? I tend to see the good in every situation. I know that the situation is unprecedented and it's not too good if you want to look at it, but then there's a lot of good things have come out of this for me. It's given me an opportunity to kind of look inward, to spend more time with my family, especially my kids, and to really reassess, and reevaluate some of the things that I'm involved with. And I'm actually working out now. I usually don't work out really. People ask me, how do you stay slim? I don't work out, but this lockdown, I have been working out, going on the Peloton, riding the bike, and, just trying to stay healthy.
Awesome. So before I start dishing out all the great nugget that we have today, I want our audience to just see who you are in a nutshell. So please allow me to just play a very quick introductory video of who you are. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. So guys.
Patricia Bibi Mawa has served as president of Planet Africa Group, the executive vice president of Afro Global Television and Silver Trust Media, the largest Black-owned media organization in Canada. She is also the host of the Planet Africa show on Omni TV. She has directed and produced over 15 television programs, including The Golden Button and Standing Ovation. Patricia is the associate publisher of Excellence, Envision, and Destiny magazines. In 2008, Silver Trust Media introduced the Discover magazine series, which has since released over 20 titles and editions in various countries. Listed in the Who's Who in Black Canada, she is a recipient of the York Regional Police Civic Leadership Award, the Martin Luther King Dreamkeeper Award, and a Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal. The mother of four is the co-founder of the Crossover Mentorship Program, a youth empowerment initiative. Patricia was spotlighted as Woman of the Week in Women's Post and also featured on CNN International in a half-hour special with her husband Moses. In March 2016, the duo launched Afro Global Television. a 24-hour television channel that is on Rogers Cable, Bell 5, Eastlink, and TELUS across Canada. In 2018, Patricia and Moses co-authored the 150 Extraordinary Canadians Legacy book with a foreword by the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau.
All right. That was a wonderful introduction. I don't think I need to say anything after that. But you know what? We're still going to want to hear from you. How do you do all of this? It's a lot of work. Somebody will look at you and say, oh my God, how does she do it? How do you do it?
Yeah.
4 children.
Well, yeah. Well, I would say that, is, knowing your purpose, first of all. And when you know your purpose and you know exactly what it is that you're doing, it actually reduces the burden of doing it. And I must say that everything that we do is kind of related and is working towards the goal to, bring respect and dignity to people of African heritage worldwide, to unite us as a community, as well as to inspire us to aspire for excellence. So that's what we do in everything that we do, be it the award show, the magazine, the television channel. We're always trying to do the same thing. So that inspires us and gives us the energy to keep going.
So if somebody comes to me now or to you now and said, who is Patricia from the beginning to the end? Who is this woman? What would you tell the person?
Okay, since you've already seen the video that actually mentioned my professional accolades, I'll tell a little bit about, how I got here maybe. So I was this little girl born in a little town called Buki in Cross River State in Nigeria. And I wanted to be a lawyer, but somehow I was in the church. I used to write plays and direct them in the church. So my friends and I, during the holidays, we used to have like this theater group. And so one day, while I was directing a play, I was in first year university, and someone walked up to me and said, "Would you like to be on television?" And I'm like, "I'm a student." And he said, "Don't worry, it's going to be on weekends." So I'll say that God divinely orchestrated my steps and put me on the media path. But prior to this time, I do know that I had dreams of doing the kinds of things that I saw Oprah Winfrey doing. I had watched Oprah Winfrey at a friend's house who happened to have a satellite at the time, and I researched her. In fact, I even put a picture of her on my wall. I remember my dad tearing it down and saying, "No, no, you can't put somebody up there like that, like an idol." So my dad pulled it down. So after that little stint, on television while I was a student, television is all I knew how to do. So after graduating and doing what they call youth service in Nigeria, I actually went back into television. I'm doing youth service. I was lucky enough to find a young man called Ike Ekoma who actually mentored me in how to, be a TV presenter. And after that, I think that's all I knew how to do. So I got a job and hosted a daily talk show called Launch Date on DBN television in Nigeria. And so when I came to Canada now, I got to meet my husband, Moses. He was already in the media. So together we pitched a television show to Omni. We were denied a few times, but we kept on repackaging the show and we didn't want to take no for an answer. And eventually Omni TV said yes. And that was how Planet Africa was born. And from doing Planet Africa, we thought Planet Africa is a great way to showcase our story, but we wanted to document our story. And we thought, why don't we do a magazine? And that's how we started to do the Planet Africa magazine. And then eventually we thought it would be great to celebrate our people from all over the world at one event. And we started the Planet Africa Awards, which is now called the Excellence Awards. So in a nutshell, and then we also do the Transformation Institute, which is a non-for-profit arm of our operations. And through that, we have a mentorship program for youth. We do leadership, programs and all kinds of programs, including an award show called the Transformation Awards. So in a nutshell, that's who I am. But then I would say that I'm a person that's passionate about, seeing other people succeed, showcasing their stories, celebrating them, and just kind of cheering people on as they approach their destinies and work on it. So in a nutshell, that's me. I have four amazing children, and yeah, that's a
Wow.
quick one
You
about
have
me.
four amazing children and a husband too. Because
Yes.
we forget that our husbands are should be added into the caretaking
So
process
child
of
number
our
5.
right. So they are the first children, the first child, number one child.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
you're
I
correct.
call you the powerhouse. That's the first time I met you. That's what I said. I called you the powerhouse woman, and you've proven
Mm,
nothing but a powerhouse woman. For a
thank you.
successful. You're welcome. And I'm not saying that to flatter you or as a compliment. It's a fact that I searched myself. I usually don't. I don't say things just because I want to belong in that person's clique. No, I am a woman in pursuit of success. So if I see one, I quickly recognize it, and that's what I saw in you. Um, for someone like you in Canada, Canada is a land of very diverse audience, yes, but you're still in the minority group, just like me. What would you say to someone that it's in the minority group and trying to get their stuff on television also? Because I heard you
Yeah.
clearly said, I pitched my show a couple of times to Omni TV and was turned down many times, but you never give up. So for someone that is just sitting down now and saying, guys, I know the topic is using the press formula
Yeah.
to overcome challenges. We're going there. Don't worry. But I'm just trying to establish something so that you guys understand that this woman is not talking from a place where she has not worked before. So that's all I'm trying to establish. While you're coming in, please share the broadcast so others can benefit from the information she's going to be sharing with us. So back to my question. What would you say to another minority woman out there that is looking at her future in television or broadcasting and say, oh, I may never get on Rogers TV or Omni TV. I may never be able to achieve that. What would you say to them? Can you hear me?
Okay. Your audio was a little bit muffled, but I think I heard the very last thing you said about how, an immigrant or someone, who is new here or who is not born here can achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve. When I came to Canada and I told people that I used to host a daily talk show in Nigeria and I was a bit famous, they kind of laughed at me because they said, "Oh, you were famous over there? You were on television?" And I said, "Yeah, and I would love to continue to do that here because that's what I love to do, to share success stories and all that kind of stuff." And I remember many people told me that with this your accent, you're never going to be able to be on TV here in Canada. And I said, "Oh, okay." I took it, but I didn't take it. So I would say that, do not believe other people's opinion of your destiny. Know your destiny and pursue it. Not everybody will kind of see it as important. Not everybody will encourage you, appreciate you. But when you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing, you actually lay down the steps and pursue it. So as soon as I got to Canada, I began to look for people that were in the media space. I first of all, I studied multimedia at Algonquin College to put myself back on the path, to get some experience here. And I did a course with a guy from CBC, and I said, this is what I want. I want to go back on television. And so he began to give me numbers, and then he gave me Moses's number. So you see,
Oh,
if I wasn't asking questions, yeah, that's how I got to meet Moses. So he gave me Moses's number. I visited Moses, and I said, "Oh, here are my tips from when I used to be on TV in Nigeria. Since you're in the media, can we, do something?" And by then he was already trying to pitch Omni this show. So we joined forces, and we began to pitch Omni, and we kept on hearing no's. And every time they said a no, we wanted to find out why they said no, and then we fixed it. And then they would say no again, and we'll be like, why did you say no? Okay, the show is too this and that and that. Okay. Maybe the lighting or the audio, whatever, we kept on fixing until one day we got that call in 2002. And I remember the guy at Omni saying to us, your community is not economically viable enough to sustain a TV show like this,
Wow.
because it's an independent production. And I remember saying to him that I promise you that this show will succeed. And I'm happy to say that it's been since 2002 till now, it's been 18 years. There's no week we went on vacation. That show has been on air for 18 good years. And it is one of the best independently produced show on Omni. So much so that they moved us from Omni 2 to Omni 1. And then we became national on the Omni 1 channel. And today we kind of have grown to a 24-hour TV channel. If I gave up, I know when I came to Canada, I tell the story of how I was an overnight stocker at a grocery store. I also was a wedding photographer. Like I did like maybe 20 or 30 weddings, when I just came in Ottawa. I wasn't a photographer in Nigeria, but I wanted to stay in the space because photography, videography, I was doing all that kind of stuff. It's in the media space. And I tell you the principles I learned from being a photographer and a videographer those days when I just came to Canada, I'm still using them now, to kind of lead our team to, employ best practices in their work. So I would
So
say don't
basically,
give
you
up, have a
surrounded.
plan, and network with the right people. Don't take no for an answer, and don't give up until you have won the battle. That's what I would say to them.
I love that. And
Mm.
one thing that you did too that stood out for me was you started right away by surrounding yourself with the goal. People that have the
Yes,
same kind of goals. You weren't looking for an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor when you know that's not your field. You surrounded
yes,
yourself with people in that industry. You did things within that industry. You learned
yes,
things within that industry. And very quickly you
yeah,
started meeting people and one door started opening to another. And that is a movie story
exactly.
right there. You when you met you guys today you're married.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I met Moses, I mean, it wasn't love at first sight because I know the day I
Wow.
went to see him, the first day I went to see him, he was so busy. He barely even looked up. And I was like, what kind of a man is this? I mean, it's not even looking up. And but I think over time, as he started to see my dreams and my aspirations, and he saw that these were the same aspirations that he had, and we began to ask the same questions. Why is there no TV show on people of African heritage in Canada? Why are there so many negative images about us on TV? Why are we not proud to say we're from Africa? And we wanted to change that. So that's how the romance started, I think,
That is
eventually.
amazing. You are a TV producer and a movie producer. We're going to talk about that. So, first, we are going to go to the topic of today. I got a message today. Is this today's topic? No, it's not. We are we are establishing the fact that she is one person that is qualified to talk to us about the topic of today. So we're going to just go right into that topic. And today's topic is overcoming challenges using the press formula. I am super excited to know what is the press formula and what are the points and tips and all of that information. So take it away, Patricia.
Okay, so the press formula is something that came to me divinely. There was a time I was asked to go speak at a conference, and I was personally going through a lot of things. I was like, what am I going to speak about? Because they gave me the liberty to choose a topic, and I kept on praying about it. I didn't know what to speak about, and one day I was just driving, and the word press just kept on coming to me, and I'm like, what is this? And it's sort of like, I don't know if to call it a voice, but I was just hearing everything, each word of the acronym with explanations and everything. And as soon as I could get my car off the road, I wrote down everything. I even recorded some of the things. And I went to this conference and I spoke about this. And a lot of people said that it resonated with them. And I must tell you that this actually helped me to solve the situation that I was going through at that time as well. So the PRESS formula is an acronym, and the P stands for process, R is for resolve, E is for execute, S is for survive, and the second S is for sail. Now, this is a formula that you can use to solve any situation that you're going through in your life. And I do know that with COVID-19, a lot of people are going through a lot of hardship right now. Some people have lost their jobs, some people have lost their loved ones, some are sick, and some who are in business like myself, there's uncertainty in the air. You're not too sure of how this is going to play out at the end of the day. But see, the P in the PRESS formula stands for process. So when you have a problem or if you're facing any difficulty, sometimes we tend to move very fast without processing the situation. So you have to process what it is that you're going through. Ask yourself questions like, why am I going through this? What is going to come out of this? What is the way to get out of this? What can I do to get me out of this? And another thing in processing it, you have to kind of know the things that you can do something about and the things that you cannot change. The serenity prayer says, God, give me the serenity to know the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So in processing whatever it is you're going through, you kind of get to find out what it is, what you can do about it, and if it's something you can change, if it's something you cannot change. And once you've processed it, the next step there is R, which is resolve. Now, as we heard in the serenity prayer, is God give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. So you need the courage. Once you've processed the situation, you need the courage to kind of change the things that you can. And I always say that sometimes when you process the situation, it scares you. It scares you to a point where you cannot actually begin to take steps to solve the problem that you're dealing with. And like sometimes, if you've lost your job, where you process the situation and see that, okay, my God, at the end of the month, I may not be able to pay my rent, and the economy is going down, who's going to hire me? By the time you process the situation, you might get so scared that you may not even do the next step, which is execute. So, and that's why you have to make a resolve. You have to, so the R is where you say resolve, is like making up your mind to go ahead in spite of difficulties, in spite of obstacles. It's like taking responsibility and saying, yes, there's a problem, but I'm going to do something about it. So once you've made up your mind that you're going to stick with the solution, you're going to do something about it, the next thing in the PRESS formula is E, which is execute. And execute, this is the implementation stage where you now begin to take steps to do something about it. You begin to write down the strategies to take the steps. And in this step, excellence is very important. People always wonder, how do I find out what I'm best at or what I'm good at? I always say that you find out what you are best at by giving your best in everything that you do. And success is not doing one big thing. Success is doing a number of little things excellently. So once you've made up your mind, made a resolve that I'm going to fix this, I'm going to change this, I'm going to stick with, how long it takes, or however long it takes for me to get this done. When you begin to execute it, you have to, number one, network with the right people. Number two, commit yourself to excellence. Number three, do your research. And number four, stick to the plan. There's a tendency for people to get carried away when they begin to pursue their dreams or begin to work on something. People tell you stuff, or you see other people doing different things and you get distracted. So stick to your plan. Now, the next item on the PRESS formula is S. S, and it stands for survive. See, survival is choosing to go on in spite of obstacles. It's choosing to do something in spite of the challenges that you're facing. And I have my own definition of survival. So for me, survival is like holding your breath, but hoping to live. It's like the situation is really bad. I know, but I'm going to stick to it. And I'm not going to give up until I win. It's like you're holding your breath. You're doing things that are abnormal. Like holding your breath is not normal. And if you hold your breath for too long, you might die, right? But see, it's like saying I'm holding my breath. yes, but I'm going to stick to it until I survive this. So in the survival mode, there are a few things that you need to take note of. Don't use one problem to solve another problem. See, there are people who have one problem and they use another problem to solve it. The perfect example is you've lost your job, or you are in a divorce, or you're going through whatever it is you're going through, you start drinking. That is using problem number one to solve problem number two. Or some people can't get out of bed. You just don't want to leave your bed because you're going through something. Now you have another problem. You have problem number two, and you may end up having problem number three and problem number four. So remember to make sure that you are not using the one problem to solve another problem in the survival mode, and you have to do something. Don't sit there. You know, when the recession hit in 2008, I remember my husband and I, we just had this event, big event. It was very successful, but unfortunately, we lost a lot of money. We lost a lot of money because the person who was supposed to be in charge of the door, her house got burnt that morning and she had the list. So people just entered free. And then, you know, we had so many, you know, issues that happened behind the scenes, and we lost so much money. We didn't even have money to buy diaper for our baby. And I said to my husband, look, let's just stop this business. And he said, let's pray about it. And we did. So when we prayed about it, I kind of heard clearly that we're not supposed to stop it at that moment. So we kept on going. And I remember there's something that God put in my heart that says, when it is time, it takes no time. So that just came to my spirit. And I said, okay, we can't stop this. We have to continue to do this. And we sat down, we said, let's make an analysis of the situation. We analyzed the situation and we put down a list of people that had money to either advertise or do stuff. And we came up with an idea in a recession to start a magazine for countries. And we went to Ottawa, met with, you know, as many ambassadors as we could, and pitched them the Discover magazine series. And in no time, guess what? We did Discover Zambia, Discover Kenya, Discover Zimbabwe, and for Discover Nigeria, we even had to go meet with the president of Nigeria in Aso Rock to get that done. And during the recession, we moved to a bigger studio. Our company grew, by so much. Like, we hired more people during a recession. And that's because we actually sat down and remapped our strategy. Now, another thing to take note of, when you're in the survival mode, you cannot discriminate. When I came to Canada, any immigrant, you go into survival mode right away. I was a wedding photographer. I was an overnight stalker at a grocery store. I was a videographer. I was doing whatever it is that I had to do to survive. Well, guess what? While you're surviving, do not forget your dreams and your goals. Keep working on them. Because the survival mode, remember what I said before, survival is like holding your breath and hoping to live. But my dear, if you hold your breath forever, you cannot expect to live. So survival is not where you need to stay forever. It's for a moment. You hold your breath for a moment. Just hold your breath for a moment. After a while, you begin to feel uncomfortable, right? And you kind of need air to survive. And keep that in mind. So when you're in the survival mode, do whatever it is I have to do. But remember that if you stay there for too long, your dreams will die. You will not achieve your purpose. You will not succeed at whatever it is that you want to achieve in your life. So once you've finished your survival mode, then remember to go to the next S. The next S in the press formula is sail. Who is a sailor? Let's ask ourselves that. Now, a sailor is an artist whose medium is the wind. You know, there's a passage in the Bible that I love so much. It says that if you consider the wind, you will never sow. If you look at the clouds, you will never reap. So think about that. So when you're in the sailing mode, this is where you kind of have succeeded at what you're doing. You're doing well now. When you're doing well now, you see the word sail. It means that you are doing well. It doesn't mean that the winds are not going to come. It doesn't mean that the clouds are not going to come. You know, sailors, they are artists, and the wind is their medium. They have kind of learned how to artistically still sail in spite of the wind. So all the lessons you've learned from processing the situation, from making up your mind that you're going to face this head on and executing a plan and doing whatever it is I need to do to survive. And I must say that right now, some people are going to go into survival mode. But don't worry. The survival mode is just for a period of time. And when you're selling, the things you need to keep in mind. Number one, build a formidable team. Surround yourself with the right people. I know Queen mentioned that a little bit earlier. Surround yourself with the right people. Number two, give back to your community and to your people, the folks that helped you to get up there. Just make sure you remember to give back. And number three, remember that the fact that you're sailing doesn't mean that there will be no obstacles. It doesn't mean that you're not going to face challenges. But, challenges are like opportunities. So whenever there's a challenge, like right now we have this COVID-19 situation, ask yourself, what are the challenges? My husband and I are asking ourselves that question right now. And I'm telling you, we've seen so many opportunities. And the last thing when you're sailing is never give up. Never give up. Someone said that, success is not final and failure is not fatal. It is courage to move on that makes a difference. So always have the courage to move on, and also know that even though you're in the sailing mode, there are times when so the sailing mode and the survival mode, sometimes you switch between those two. So you're sailing and then bam, something happens, the wind comes. I have to go back to survival mode. Remember what I said earlier about the fact that you can't stay in the survival mode forever. So you have to make a plan for when you come out of that. So in a nutshell, when I spoke about this at the conference, it was close to an hour. So I kind of have compressed it, giving you the short version of this. But I'm sure, you kind of get the message, to process whatever it is you're going through, make a resolve to stick with the solution, execute plans to make things work, do whatever it is you can to survive, make a plan while you're surviving to succeed and to sail. And then when you're sailing, remember that winds may come, but that you can do whatever it is I want to do and still sail again. So in a nutshell, that's it.
Oh my goodness. I'm taking notes. I always take notes because as you're feeding people, you have to feed yourself too. I want to grow. So I take a lot of notes when guest speakers come on our show. Thank you so much. I am going to play your video again, just for the people that just came in. So that I know that those questions will come. But guys, just look at this for a moment.
Patricia Mawa has served as president of Planet Africa Group, the executive vice president of Afro Global Television and Silver Trust Media, the largest Black-owned media organization in Canada. She is also the host of the Planet Africa show on Omni TV. She has directed and produced over 15 television programs, including The Golden Button and Standing Ovation. Patricia is the associate publisher of Excellence, Envision, and Destiny magazines. In 2008, Silver Trust Media introduced the Discover magazine series, which has since released over 20 titles and editions in various countries. Listed in the Who's Who in Black Canada, she is a recipient of the York Regional Police Civic Leadership Award, the Martin Luther King Dreamkeeper Award, and a Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal. The mother of four is the co-founder of the Crossover Mentorship Program, a youth empowerment initiative. Patricia was spotlighted as Woman of the Week in Women's Post and also featured on CNN International in a half-hour special with her husband Moses. In March 2016, the duo launched Afro Global Television, a 24-hour television channel that is on Rogers Cable, Bell 5, Eastlink, and TELUS across Canada. In 2018, Patricia and Moses co-authored the 150 Extraordinary Canadians Legacy book with a foreword by the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau.
All right. So again, wow, it's all I can say. And guys, look, I do have copies of her magazine. So she's not just talking. This is Destiny. And this one is the, yeah, that's copy of Destiny. And this is the excellent award that she does. I have a copy of the Discovery one also somewhere. And I do have a, you blessed me with a copy of the Canada at 151 also. So amazing, 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 amazing. Thank you so much. So guys, for those of you who are just joining, that is Patricia Mawa, the lady speaking to us today. Some of the points that you shared are very profound, and I am going to keep it, for me, and I would share that with you guys too. So if you really love yourself and you love the people around you, share the broadcast. Don't gain the whole sweet tips all for yourself. Share so other people can gain. Patricia, you said something. Before I go into that, you don't just have 4 children. You have children with some challenges, and that did not stop you.
Yeah.
Do you mind talking a little bit about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. When I was pregnant with my fourth child, I thought it was just going to be business as usual because I had 3 kids already, and I was just thinking it's just, going to go come out. And when I went for the sort of regular checkups, I was told that my son was going to have, some challenges, and was advised to kind of get rid of the pregnancy. But I thought to myself, this was a special pregnancy because there was a pastor that came from Nigeria to preach in Canada. And when we heard he was here, we actually brought him to our home to spend the night. And before he went to bed, he said, "Let me pray for you." And he did. And then he said, um, "Are you planning to have another baby?" I said, "No, we're done." And he said, "God wants to give you another baby." And I'm like,
Hmm.
can you tell him not to, please? Because this three, oh my God, with my
Did you
schedule,
really
I'm going
say that?
crazy. And then the pastor said, let's pray, let's pray. And he prayed, and it's like, may God's will be done. And guess what? He told me that before February, I will be pregnant. In November, I was pregnant, regardless of all precautions I was taking. And so when they told me to get rid of the baby, I'm like, I can't, because, you know, somebody told me that God wanted to give me a baby, and this is a gift. So I gave birth to my son, and he had challenges. Thankfully, he didn't have some of the challenges that they had predicted, but he had challenges. And I must say that um, we've been praying for him. He's 5 now and wasn't working, and we've been praying for him. And I remember my pastor had said that before December 31st, that something was going to happen, and I claimed it. And then there was another man of God that said, "Your son is going to walk by the time I come back to Canada." And so, guess what? On December 31st, we were preparing to go to the crossover service, and my son got up and started walking. He was
Amen.
running, walking, and since then he's been running. This is somebody that they said will never work without appliances. So he has taught me patience. He's taught me so much, and I'll say that he's a gift. He's been a gift, and I know we as a family, he's taught us so much, and I must say that I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a mother to him.
Wow. Wow. A lot of times people would think that that is a completely an excuse for you to just sit down at home and play pity party. I can feel your tears, trust me. Um, I told you guys that someday I'm gonna share my story because I cannot be making everybody come on my show to share their story and nobody knows my story. I'm
Yeah.
going
So you
to
come on my show to share your story.
absolutely, I will. And trust me, the day I sit down with you, you are going to, I mean, get somebody to be taking the synopsis because it's going to be a series of movie.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'll share just a little bit of that from what you're talking about a child. I lost 7 pregnancies
Oh.
before I had the first baby. And
Mm.
Trust me, you don't want to know. It's not pregnancy of 3 months, then it's gone. So, guys, there is hope for anybody listening to this broadcast. I lost pregnancies of 21 weeks, 26 weeks, 22 weeks, 24 weeks. That's 5 months plus. It's not 3 months, okay, it's blood, according to what people would say. No, babies delivered into.
Wow.
Okay, so if you have a preemie baby today, they would survive. The last one that broke me into pieces, I was on the street of Canada, confused. Okay, okay, is her name.
Sorry to hear all this.
1 hour in my hands. I watched Voke breathe for 1 hour, and that was it. So I can relate when the doctor tells you this is not gonna happen. Okay, my daughter today is A plus. Okay, and even her, when I was pregnant for her, the doctors told me that she was twins. They saw 2 heartbeats, and after 21 weeks, the devil came again. And the second heartbeat, I went for ultrasound, and the doctor was like, "Well, we're not seeing any of the heartbeat." I said, "No, these twins," I said, "this one, whether you, the doctor, likes it or the devil likes it, I will have this baby." That was what I said. And that brings me to the power of words. When the Omni guy told you that you don't have enough audience to sustain a program on their TV channel, you didn't keep quiet and walk away from it. So, guys, this is why I'm sharing a little bit of my story with you guys. Power of words. Patricia said to the guy right away, said, "I promise you." So you affirmed it to him that this is gonna stay. And it didn't just stay, it evolves into so many other things. So guys, what are you speaking to yourself when people say something to you? Super important. That time I wasn't even a good Christian. Like, well, good, there's nothing like good Christian, but I wasn't a strong believer. I knew about God, but it wasn't my forte, you know. But I knew there was something within me that welled up right away. And I said to the doctor, I said, "This child will be born and this child will be perfect." That was all I knew, and that was all I said. One of the heartbeat collapsed. Then I got a scar tissue in my stomach. Now, guys, it's becoming my show, my story.
Go ahead.
I'll keep it. I'll finish this. I just want people to know that when you see people in front of camera always smiling, there is
I don't know what they've been through.
there's a story. Trust me. And their story, when you hear theirs, you start praising God for yours. You know. I got a scar tissue in my womb that did not create enough room for my present daughter now to be able to survive. So the doctor said I was going to go on bed rest completely, and they're going to monitor me 24/7. So from 24 weeks, I was on bed rest with my first baby till I had the baby. And every day they come to the hospital room, they're going to tell me something that is going to break me into pieces. But I refuse. Thank God for music. I love music. I don't know how to sing very well, but I began to sing for myself every time they come to say something. I wrote 26 lyrics of songs in the hospital by myself. Never knew anything about music. So I was singing to myself, and I kept on affirming to myself that this child will be born, this child will be perfect. Then the last thing they came and said, "Oh, the child will be deformed because of the way she's lying. Her hand is going to be deformed." So I said, "No, this child will be perfect." Guess what? When she came out finally, the doctor that was the gynecologist that was following me was not the gynecologist that delivered her, because God saw that this man has no faith. So that same week that I was supposed to deliver, he lost his mom. So he had to go for the funeral. And God bless another gynecologist, Ann Dobler, Dr. Ann Dobler. She was the one that came to deliver Pasa, my daughter. And she's a Christian. So the moment Pasa came out, you know, I was under anesthesia, but the one that you are half awake and have like epidural. So After I had a C-section. After the baby came out, she took the baby and I heard her. Guess the word she used? Exactly the word that I used when she wasn't there, when the child was 24 weeks in my stomach. She goes,
Wow.
"This child is perfect."
Oh,
And that
wow.
was how we named her, Omofasa. This child is perfect here. Yeah.
Wow.
That's how we came with her name. So, guys, I am telling you guys this short story about this is just an iceberg of my story. I was telling a friend this morning how I used to work for $1.50 to be able to pursue my school goal here when everybody
Wow.
said I would never amount to anything. In
Mm.
Montreal, I worked for $1.50
Mm.
babysitting at a
Wow.
daycare while I was in school, just to be able to go to school, because I didn't come from
Mm.
a family with silver spoons in my hands. So there are stories. So guys,
Yeah.
don't be discouraged. That's my whole point. Do not be
Yeah.
discouraged. When you're
Yeah.
pursuing anything in life, just like Patricia said, stick to the plan. Don't allow the storm or the wind, like the sailor will not allow the wind to make them not sail. Actually, the wind is the medium that the sailor sails with, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
So your
They're medium.
trouble
Yeah.
should be turned into your success. Challenges should be turned into opportunities. That's what happened with Patricia. And she went ahead to say again, said, she became a photographer. She was stocking in a grocery store, but she surrounded herself and continuously communicate with people in the industry of where she wants to see herself. She was even told that when she told people that she was famous in Nigeria, she was laughed at, but she never gave up. She went ahead and shared the press formula. She said, process your idea, reserve it, execute it, survive through it. Don't give up. But when you are in the survivor mode, don't settle there. I love the point where you said some people get in that survivor mode, say, my life, I'm getting older. The all manner of excuses. I already have children. Let me just focus on this, build a career there. You are a loser. Why? Because you lost your.
Yeah.
Don't allow it.
Yeah.
That's the lie of the enemy. And she says,
Mm.
sail. When you get sailing, hang on sailing, because I realize that when you start selling, that's even when the problem comes more. Why? Because
Yeah.
he comes
Yeah.
to shift your faith. He comes to shake you and shift you like the devil did with Jesus.
Yeah.
So wonderful, wonderful tips that you've shared with us today. I will take the very first question. We're supposed to only be here for an hour. I know this is going to go way past an hour today because this is fantastic. I'm having a lot of fun listening to you speak. So
Yeah. Thank you.
we will go back to just so guys, that's just my short story. But one day I look forward to sitting
Yeah.
with
Thanks for
and
sharing.
talk some more. I just wanted to confirm that what you're saying, I am a living witness to it. So, first question is from. Okay, so no, she answered this question, so I'm not gonna take it, Moses. Sorry, she's already answered it. So share that's an opportunity for you to do a host party with your friends so you can get your answer. So this other question came from Marlene, and she said, I feel defeated every time I fail at a project. What would be your advice to me?
Wow. I just want to say that you failing at something. Remember what I said earlier? There's this popular quote that says that success is not final and failure is not fatal. It is a courage to move on that really makes the difference. Now, um, I I don't know if you've heard of the bamboo tree, the Chinese bamboo tree, that you have to plant and water for 5 years and it doesn't grow. And when it grows 90 feet within like a few months. So your dream is like that. You may water it and come back and see, the seed is dead. When the seed is dead, guess what? It's just getting ready to germinate. But if you give up at that point, you will never see that tree grow up. You know, see, when you fail at something, it doesn't mean you should stop. It's a time for you to ask yourself questions. What did
Mm,
I do wrong? What could I have done better? What else can I do? who else can I talk to? Because all of us have failed at something. Like, if I tell you how many times we try things that didn't work, but in those things not working, we learn lessons that help us to do other things in life. So I would say, remember when you process, your situation, the R in the press formula is resolve. And that's what I'm saying. When you process it, sometimes you're scared. Like when we wanted to launch a 24-hour TV channel, when we did the budget and it was going to cost, millions. So we're like, hey, where are we going to get, all this money? We needed thousands of hours of content, like 24 hours, like feeding the giants. And we didn't know what to do. But guess what? We made up our minds that we are going to launch this channel. And we had 3 months to launch it or lose the carriage with some of the cable carriers. So in 3 months, we had to do what we had to do. We didn't give up and we launched it. So I said to that person, don't give up. Let whatever it is that you feel that be like a stepping stone and not a stumbling block. And you may just need to do some more networking, more research, or find other ways of doing it. But you have to keep encouraging yourself and doing whatever it is that you have to do, because I'm telling you, whatever it is that you want to do, there's nothing impossible. Like I have seen it in my life. Like the things I never thought I could do, things I never thought I could be at, but I believed, and I have been able to achieve a lot of the things that seemed impossible, including being on TV in Canada with an accent.
I know.
So,
That's too funny. Even Canadians have accent. Everybody have accents here. So I don't know what
well,
you're talking about. Anyways.
I'm still very very hard on my A. My daughter tells me. I know my daughter corrects me every second when I speak English, but I'm like, well,
They do the same thing to me too. And you know what I said to them? I said, I am an African woman. You can never take
yeah,
an African woman out of
exactly.
Africa and take
Yeah,
Africa out of her. It's
yeah,
impossible.
authentic. I'm authentic. That's it.
Anyways, thank you so much for that response. Again, the second question has been answered. Phil. Okay, so maybe Phil's own, you can respond to the last part of it. Phil said,
Okay.
when you are faced with challenges, what are some of the things you can do right away? So that's the key of the question. Right away to be able to move forward.
Okay, so I would say that when you're faced with a challenge, the first thing to do is to do nothing until you have processed the situation. Do not move in a time of chaos because you'll make a mistake. So,
Mhm.
first of all, sit back, analyze the situation. Like right now, a lot of people are going through a lot with this COVID-19, and don't just jump into something. Process the situation and make up your mind that you're going to be a winner at the end, and write down all the things that you can do to solve the situation. And as I said earlier, you have to know the difference between something you can do something about and something you cannot do something about. Some things are just beyond your control, and you just have to. My prayer is that God will give you the courage and the wisdom to know the difference between the things you can change and things you cannot change. But process it, make up your mind that you're going to stay with the solution, and you will not give up till you win. And then put on an execution plan. What is it I'm going to do to achieve this? And whatever you can do to survive now till then, do it. But don't stop working on what it is that you want to do until you have kind of achieved it. So that's what I would say to that person. Same thing. And I'm telling you, these things may just seem like just formulas, but it works for me every single time. And I'm going through it right now, this whole thing, because, with COVID-19, things have changed and we have to kind of think about how we're going to do things going forward. So that's what I would say to Phil.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that response. The next
Mm.
question is from Maggie. Maggie says, what do you do when people blame their failures on you constantly?
Wow. Wow. You know, I know that as human beings, God has wired us in a way that we're communal. And that's why no matter how successful you are, it doesn't matter how successful you are, if you do not have someone to share it with, if you do not have somebody to be excited with, if you cannot have people see it, you don't feel fulfilled. It's just because God wired us to care about what people think, about what people say. But guess what? God also has given us the courage and the strength to be us. It's just that sometimes we don't tap into that courage. So what I would say to this person is analyze the situation. If there's something you've done wrong for these people to blame you, retrace your steps. But if you've not done anything wrong, I mean, for me, I have a personal philosophy. If when you're in the limelight, like we're in the limelight right now, people talk about you. Like there's things that people say about
Oh,
me that I'll be like, wait a minute, they don't even know me. Like once somebody wrote an email to a staff member, like trying to tell them, oh, why are you working for these people? These people are this and that, And guess what? He mistakenly sent it to me, and I
uh-huh.
read the email, and I just wrote back, and I just said, have a good day. And I said, have a good day. You see, people just hate you for doing the right thing sometimes, but you have to ask yourself the right questions. Have I offended? If you've not offended, you have to tap into your inner courage, and it's there, and continue to do what you're doing boldly. Like I remember when I started to know how what the world is. I used to cry a lot. If somebody said something bad about me, I'll cry, I'll feel bad. I wanted everybody to like me. But as
Mhm.
I grew, especially in business, in the limelight, I've come to realize that, it's between you and God. If your conscience does not condemn you, be courageous. Walk with your head up. I don't walk around feeling, ashamed or feeling embarrassed because I have no skeletons in my cupboard. I've not done anything to anybody that I sleep at night and wonder, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I make mistakes, but whenever I find out that I have, I apologize or I try to make it right. So that's what I would say to that person.
Thank you so much for that response. I hope that satisfies your questions there. So the next question is from Joe. Joe, is that Dogan or Dogen? So Joe said, uh, every time I am misunderstood in a team as being over ambitious. Pursuing your dream has different phases, and one of it is making sure that you are passionate about it. My passion for my dream has always been mistaken to as a cut truth. How do I manage myself in a team? I like that. A
Hmm.
lot of times that happens to me.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, I just want to say that what I've come to learn is that you can have the best idea in the world. You can have the best product in the world. If you cannot build a formidable team, you cannot go far. And there are times when you just have to understand your team dynamic and make everyone buy into what you're trying to do. Like I remember there was a time we were doing the award show, and the odds were against us because there are a lot of things that are supposed to have been done, and we just moved to a new venue, and this venue was very demanding. We moved this event to the Roy Thompson Hall, which is like the place to do events, and I remember we had a meeting with our team, and some of our team members were saying, cancel the event, cancel the event. We can't do this. We can't pull this off. We were doing like 500 to 600 people, but the Roy Thompson Hall sits about 2,000 plus people. So we had to, we could see the fear in our team members' eyes, and some of them were even saying, cancel it. What did we do? We had to bring them on board. We had to inspire them. Guess what? That what year was the most successful award show we've ever had in the history of our doing events. That room was full of people, and I'm telling you, so one of our team members had said, if we don't have a big headliner, this event will fail. We didn't have a very big headliner,
Been
but
told
all
that.
we had was a lot of inspiration and passion. And by the time we inspired these people, I'm telling you, they went all out and that place was full. So I would say sometimes it may be communication, but try to understand how to get into the hearts of the people, not their heads. See, if what I've come to also realize that if you don't get into people's hearts, sometimes you can't get in their heads. They'll not understand what you're saying
Mm,
until they know that you care, until they know that you know what you see them. So I'll say to this person, I'm passionate too. The way I express myself is very passionate. So sometimes I'm kind of excited about something and I'm very passionate about it. And I'm like, go, 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 let's do it, you know. But sometimes I have to kind of like stop and say, oh, wait a minute, people are not following me here. I have to slow down and bring everybody along. So I'll say, you know, study your team dynamic and try to bring them along and get them invested in the idea. And once you get into their hearts, their heads will work magic.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think the next question is kind of close to that. It says, I'll read it out anyways. It said, how do you go after what you want without making people around you feel like you are greedy? So again, carry them along, show them that you're passionate, yes, but yet you care for them, and also make sure that you are not doing anything to anything derogatory, something that is going to make somebody feel less than what they are in your team. Be a team player, I would say. You know, even
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, be
be
a good team player, but I
yeah.
must recognize that there are times when no matter what you do, some people will just not reckon with you. And I've come to realize that I'm not targeting everybody. Not everybody likes coffee black, you
Mm,
know, and not everybody likes their coffee white. But there are people who would like the coffee black, and the people who like the coffee white. So you have to, if you leave your place, you lose your audience. You just have to make sure that you're not preaching to the wrong audience.
mm,
Because sometimes, no matter what you do, the people will not reckon with you if what it's just not for them, or maybe they don't appreciate the gifts that you have, and then you just take your gifts elsewhere, or you just kind of find new people to work with. And sometimes that happens, but make sure you give yourself, the opportunity to try at least to carry the people along first before you give up on them. That's what I would
mm.
say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, uh, uh, this is again from an anonymous. Those are one of the things that my daughter would say, no, mommy, just know how to say it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a no-name brand question. How about I put it that way?
No name.
Yeah, so the question is, what do you do when things go wrong in the pursuit of your goals constantly? It's like everything you try, nothing works.
you know, um, I mean, there are times in my life when I feel like, everything is going wrong. Um, and until I sit down and ask myself, what is all this? There's a tendency for when a few things are going wrong in your life, for you to expect other things to go wrong. And sometimes what you believe comes to pass, and you start to say negative things. I'm not saying that this is what's happening in this person's life, but I just want to say that, there are times when it rains, it pours, in everybody's life. There are times when you're going through all kinds of things at the same time. I've been through that time where you'd be like, oh my God, what have I done wrong? Why all these things happen to me, But don't worry, like it always, this every problem has a day of solution. It's going to pass. Just encourage yourself, and whatever you do, make sure you continue to speak positive words, pray about it, and continue to speak positive things. Don't expect more negative things to happen. If I want the positive things to happen, the negative things are happening, just keep speaking the positive things that you want to see come to pass. I've seen that happen to me where things are going wrong and I'm just laughing and I'm just saying the opposite of what's happening. I keep saying those things. I convince myself to believe this thing. And before you know it, things start to turn around. But again, you have to individually process whatever it is that the challenges you're facing and see if there are things you can do something about, But I'll say be prayerful, believe, be positive minded and trust. God is working for us, not against us. Sometimes when
Amen.
things are happening so badly, you begin to think that something is happening against you. But even those things that are happening that look bad, they are happening for your good. They're happening for you, not against you, not at you, but for you.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. I love that. And Martina Coco when said, keep trying. I love that. So that's why I posted that up. I will take the last question before I let you go. And I think you've answered this question too many, many times. So, guys, again, go and watch the video again. Host a watch party. Before I take this last question, I want you guys to also know that you can connect with Patricia at the end. She's going to tell us exactly how you can connect with her, follow her, how you can subscribe, and she's going to just briefly tell us also about her TV series that is coming up. So please don't go anywhere. Let me quickly take this question from Vivian. Vivian said, "How do you simplify your issues that you face when you are faced with many obstacles at the same time?"
When you're faced with many obstacles at the same time, it makes you feel weighed down, it makes you feel overwhelmed, it makes you feel helpless. You just need to take a moment to breathe. And that's what I was saying. Sometimes when you're going through things, don't just act. Just take a little moment to breathe and to ask yourself questions. And what I do sometimes when I'm going through so much is I look back and I try to look for what is working in my life. And I just thank God for that. Like recently, a friend of mine sent me a photograph. This picture, I wish I could share it. This picture is the picture of a little boy who was lying down on top of this farm produce that he had harvested. I think there was firewood by his side. I don't know if you know what firewood is in Canada, but it's like, wood that used to create fire to cook. And there was a machete, which I think he must have used to cut like grass. You could, and then on the picture it says, if you knew where I'm coming from, you not wish me failure. And I mean, when I saw this picture, I'm like, oh my God. I sent it to my younger sister, and when I sent it to my younger sister, she reminded me of something that I had forgotten. Like, sometimes you go through so much and you block it. There's certain aspects of my childhood that I've blocked. I got to realize. So my sister reminded me that, oh, remember you and I, we used to go and sell akara when we were younger, that we used to go sell akara. There was time things were so hard, and me and my sister, when my father goes to work, we'll fry akara, me and her, when we'll go sell the akara, just to get money to help put food on the table.
Wow.
And when my sister reminded me of that, everything that I was going through at the moment was nothing. I knelt down, I came to my room, I laid on the floor, I was crying, and I was saying, God, thank you. Look at where I've come from.
Yes,
so
amen.
Sometimes when you're going through stuff, it's time to say, what's working in my life? What is it that has been good in my life? And be thankful for that. And in being grateful, it will open up a whole new world of possibilities. And you begin to see the things that are happening to you that are like things that are happening for you. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what it is, those things are happening for you. They can be good in it. I know you may say, Patricia, I don't understand what I'm going through, but I have been through, brother. I've been through, sister. And when I look back, everything that happened that looked like it was happening at me, now that I look back, including selling Akara as a kid, happened for me.
Wow.
Some people may say, oh, this girl sold Akara as a kid. That was child abuse. No, that is why I'm tenacious today.
Amen.
That is why I learned the principles of business, of not giving up.
Amen.
So, I mean, I just tear up when I think about that picture. I'm going to share that picture.
It's really okay. Trust me. Like on this show,
Yeah.
the other day too, Oibo Princess was on the show and she broke me down. I started crying. This is the fun of the Queen Amina show. We're real. Like nobody's packaging anything, coming out here to do all mighty formula. No, we are so real. So it's perfectly okay to. You're making me cry too, because I had to sell oranges when I was growing up.
You see that? Yeah, so we've all been through. Yeah. But things always work out at the end. I know it may seem dark for whoever asked that question right now, but just ask yourself, what's working in my life? How about the fact that people have passed away? You're still here. How about the fact that you're healthy? I know if sometimes you kind of think, oh my God, I need money to do this and that. How about people who have so much money, but they're lying down on that bed, taking their last breath with all that money? You're still here. What about people who are saying, oh my God, I can't have this, I can't have that? How about the people who have all that and wish they could have what you have, which is good health? So think about all that and see the good in life. And I think when you begin to see more of the good, the good will begin to happen. I know it sounds very cliche, but it is true.
It does it does work,
It
yeah.
is true.
It does work. When you
Yeah.
take your focus away from the bad, the good begins
Yes.
to magnify more, because what you conceive
Exactly.
in your heart is what you begin to see. What you focus on becomes your reality. I have lived through
Exactly.
that. I've lived through
Yeah.
that.
True.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Guys, I
I
would
can't believe I'm
love
crying.
it's God, trust me, because you are speaking to, I think, close to about 200 views right now that I'm looking at, and it grows from there. So you are speaking to people from the heart. And my prayer every time I come on the show, I say, Lord, do not make this show about me. Let it be something that somebody is going to gain and their lives. I'm looking down the road, 1 year down the road, people would start sending in testimony. I watched your show with Patricia Mawa, 22nd of May 2020, 10 years ago, and this is what I did. This is where I am now. So that's my
Amen.
every day. So you have been
Amen.
real, and thank you so much for speaking from your heart. I can see, and it comes across when you package yourself and being fake, people can see true, and when you're real, people can see true. So I know I'm going to get a lot of comment about this particular broadcast today. So thank you so much. Before we
Wow.
go, I would love to just tell our audience again a little bit about you. Oh my God, there's so much comment. I sold a lot of things, name it, cold water, cooked peanut, garden egg,
You
name it
see?
all.
Yeah.
That's
So the many people are going to be praising God now for where they are, right? Because when you
I
see where
know.
you're coming from.
And I actually know Glamour. Glamour is one of the most successful hairdresser. Believe it.
Wow.
This
You
is a
see?
graduate, university graduate, came here. There was nothing. She learned how to make hair, and she's the best
Wow.
makeup artist in Calgary today. She's
Hmm.
fantastic. She's doing amazing. That's why
Wow.
we are very successful in life, Martina said.
Yes.
Um,
Amen.
yeah, so God is good. Like, don't regret anywhere you find yourself. Just make the
Yeah.
best use of it and keep going, because God has a purpose for allowing those things to come. They come to make you tougher. They come to
Yeah.
grow your. So those
Yeah.
things add value to your knowledge that you're going to need to reach out to in life. If she didn't survive through selling akara, you will not be able to survive through obstacles in building your future today. So you learn
Yeah.
those strategies right you were growing up. We might look at it like you say as suffering that time, but you look at that just like King David. David said, you brought the lions, I killed them. You gave me power to
Mm.
kill the bear when they came after my sheep. Today, you uncircumcised Philistine, I will not just kill you, but I will feed your head to the carcass.
Mm.
So
Mm.
he reached back into his strength. And
Yes.
that's something that would keep you going in stormy
Yeah.
times. All
Yeah.
right. So let's quickly play Patricia's ad again.
Patricia Bibi Mawa has served as president of Planet Africa Group, the executive vice president of Afro Global Television and Silver Trust Media, the largest Black-owned media organization in Canada. She is also the host of the Planet Africa show on Omni TV. She has directed and produced over 15 television programs, including The Golden Button and Standing Ovation. Patricia is the associate publisher of Excellence in Vision and Destiny magazines. In 2008, Silver Trust Media introduced the Discover magazine series, which has since released over 20 titles and editions in various countries. Listed in the Who's Who in Black Canada, she is a recipient of the York Regional Police Civic Leadership Award, the Martin Luther King Dreamkeeper Award, and a Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal. The mother of four is the co-founder of the Crossover Mentorship Program, a youth empowerment initiative. Patricia was spotlighted as Woman of the Week in Women's Post and also featured on CNN International in a half-hour special with her husband Moses. In March 2016, the duo launched Afro Global Television, a 24-hour television channel that is on Rogers Cable, Bell 5, Eastlink, and TELUS across Canada. In 2018, Patricia and Moses co-authored the 150 Extraordinary Canadians Legacy book, with a foreword by the Right Honorable Justin Trudeau.
All right, guys, that was just instead of me repeating, Patricia did this, Patricia did that. So it was super fantastic that you sent in that video. Thank you so very much. So Patricia, apart from our audience following you on Instagram at Patricia Bibia Mawa is right on the screen, guys. Go click on her Instagram profile today. I want to see at least 100 people from my show clicking on Patricia Bibia. Because guess what? We're building another opera for ourselves. So it gives us a platform to,
Oh.
expose our programs. Why not join hands to build her up? Because as you're building other people, you are automatically building yourself. As you're destroying other people with your choo, you are automatically destroying yourself. Because do the experiment. Hold somebody down and see where you are going. As you're holding that person in stagnant position, you are standing there too, because you have to hold the person. But if you're
Yeah,
pushing
that's a good
somebody,
one.
yeah, if you're put I tell Patricia, if something I do every day is speak to myself, I speak to myself first, and I experiment these things to myself first. So whatever don't work, I delete, So stopping people's vision stops you. Pushing another person's vision pushes you. So guys,
Yeah.
let's join up together to subscribe to Afro Global TV. It's an online television that you can watch 24 hours, advertise on their stuff. And I want to put my show on your television station. So we should talk
Yeah, of
about
course. Why not? Why not?
we start doing that. So I'm gonna
By the way,
just
one free preview right now, so people can watch it right now
oh
free.
my god, I'm
Till June.
free.
Yeah. So. Mhm.
Oh, that's so good. Thank you so much. All right, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you just give us your final word before we let you go. Thank you so very much, Patricia.
My pleasure. Well, I just want to thank you for joining us today and, for allowing me to share a little bit about myself and my story. As you heard, life is just like sailing, you just have to always deal with the wind. And the wind does not mean that you cannot sail, you cannot succeed. Obstacle doesn't mean you cannot succeed. You just have to learn how to overcome the challenges. And sometimes you cannot do it alone. You need a team of people. You need mentors. You need, the community to stand behind you. You just need to get the help that you need. But in my final words, I just want to say, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dream, and don't give up on the future that you dream of, that you could have if you're ready to put in the work. You see, success is one opportunity meets ready people. It is better to be prepared and not to have any opportunity than for you not to be prepared at all, when the opportunity comes knocking. So my final word is make sure you're prepared when the opportunity comes. And I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to our channel, Afro Global Television, which is right now on free preview across Canada. It's on Rogers Cable on channel, 2407 on Bell, on 2701 on Eastlink on 886, and on Bell on sorry, not Bell, on Rogers, on 884. So make sure you tune in. I know Princess played the video earlier. I may have gotten some of these channels wrong. You can check our website, afroglobaltelevision.com, to get the actual channel in your area, and just check us out. And the other thing that's happening is that we're going into, drama and film production right now. So if you're a talent out there, you want to participate, reach out to us. And we are looking forward to producing content for not just our channel, but for Netflix, for Amazon Prime, and all those other platforms that are out there. And I just want to wish you the very best. I know that a lot of people are dealing with a lot right now with COVID-19. I just want to let you know that we're going to come out of this stronger. Just stay in there and make sure that if you have to go into survival mode, do that. But remember that survival mode is not where you stay forever, because when you're surviving, you are holding your breath. And if you hold your breath for too long, you will die. So don't stay in a survival mode forever. Otherwise, your dreams will die, the opportunities will die, and things will pass you by. So make sure you get to the next S in the press formula that I shared earlier, which is sail. And when you're sailing, remember that the winds will come, but a sailor never stops sailing because of the wind, but uses the wind as his medium and platform to sail. So
Amen.
thank you so much again for being with us here. And thanks, Queen, for having me. I had a great time.
Thank you so much. I had a very great time too. And one of the things that I always do, I stay safe doing it, but again, I know God sees my heart, and is to pray for all my guests live on the channel.
Oh,
So,
that's
I
nice.
do just one quick prayer, very simple. I said, God,
Mm,
please bless the person that shared with us today in the person of Patricia to enlarge your coast and make you a blessing to many generations yet unborn. Thank you so much for
amen.
today. God bless you. And I want to have your husband here. I'm pretty sure he has a story before you came in the picture. So we're gonna talk
Oh,
about that
yes.
off the screen. Thank you
Okay.
so much. God bless you.
Bless you too, dear.
All
All
right.
right.
All right, guys, another successful day. Always ever grateful to have you guys join me live on the Queen Amina show. What a great woman. Oh my goodness. And, sharing true life stories of success. She never gave up. And I love how the Holy Spirit gave her that fresh formula. And she used it, it worked for her, and she came to share the same formula with us. My prayer today is those of you listening, don't just listen to this as another TV show. Take the things that you learned today, go and apply it in your life, and please text us your results. It's going to help you. Stay positive, stay safe, and see you guys all tomorrow on another powerful topic coming on the Queen Amina Show. Until then, keep watching the Queen Amina Show.